Straight from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to Call Me Old Fashioned, where we talk everything bourbon, whiskey, and of course, old fashions. Today we got something a little bit different. Not really, but close enough. We have the Whistle Pig Piggyback Single Barrel finished by G-Force. So figure we crack into this. I'll give it a little taste. I'll also go ahead and make it in an old fashioned, see what that's like. From what I've found on this one, I haven't found that much, to be honest. I went to the website, I got some information. I saw the bottle, I thought it was cool, so I figured I'd pick it up. So, but yeah, it's Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's see who's in the chat. Tuxedo Cat. Well, we switching it up again. Eric, what's going on, buddy? He says, no doubt. What's happening? Finally off call. About time. Sipping on some Antique 107. Perfect. All right, boys, let's crack into this thing. I need to get me a little drinky drink. This Friday, we're not going to go as crazy as last Friday. So, yeah, just kind of be prepared for that. But yeah, so this one, once I kind of get a pour going, I was going to make my own B-roll, but I went to Whistle Pig's website, and they actually had a pretty decent video on this. Way better than I could have made, because I don't have the facilities like that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that video up for you guys, and then that way you can check that out as well. Their website, a lot of the stuff they do on their website is pretty in-depth. I like how they add video in, where most, distilleries and websites like that, they just throw up a random picture and say, here, buy it, where this company put in a little bit of extra. So let's see. Eric says, thought you changed your name again. He did. It was also a different one the other day, too. He says, oh no, always changing my names, never knew. So you ask in the safe bet. Yeah, I mean, anything with cat, I can go ahead and recognize that. But yeah, here, check out the bottle. We have Piggyback, Whistle Pig. Yeah, this one, though, is coming in like at 96.7 proof, so a little bit on the lower side as far as proof goes. I know a lot of people that watch the lives and stuff like that, they like higher proof for some reason. I'm not against a lower proof bottle, but I typically like things around 100 to 105, somewhere in that ballpark. So let's go ahead and break into the video from the Whistle Pig's website, and we'll go ahead and play that now. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a pretty good video for a bottle of whiskey. Just so everybody knows, this is a 100% rye whiskey. It is finished with their lychee and oolong tea. I don't know if I'm gonna be a fan of that, to be honest. When I saw the bottle in the store, I saw G-Force and I was like, sold. It's like a $50 bottle, so it's not the cheapest thing in the world, but everybody was recommending Whistle Pig at the time, so I was like, yeah, I better pick it up, give it a try. But I mean, the marketing behind it, they're pumping some stuff out about it, but everybody knows when you put that kind of marketing behind it, sometimes the bottle doesn't kind of stand up to the hype that people are trying to give it. So let's see. Eric says, Dubless Whiskey asked about for last week appears to be in the distillery in the Jacksonville. Again, I just read the article, didn't investigate further. I'll investigate further because I thought you were talking about a bar last time, I thought, right? Fester says, do you like sour mash? I mean, I like anything. It just depends on the day. But yeah, but this one, go ahead and give this a little taste. Ooh, that's different. It's like a mix between like a sweetness and like a floral. Sometimes that doesn't kind of mix well. It's usually just heavy floral, heavy sweetness. But I can smell that tea note coming in pretty heavy. So hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's like a good like public sweet tea, you know. Tuxedo Cat says, I know specifics are nice, but I always love when they say some weird number like for the proof, like the decimal, then two numbers. If you're gonna do two, why not more? 104.582. I'm not gonna read all that. That's funny though. What is it? What's this one again? Yeah, this is 96.77 proof. A little bit different. Professor says, Whistle Pig change their blend. I used to love it. Now I don't. Well, I don't want to hear that. If they're changing their blend, you know what I mean? Like, this is supposed to have... Oh, that came up way bigger than it was supposed to. If they're changing their blend, that's not a good sign because that means something's usually wrong. But this does have their piggyback rye mash bill, which is just 100% rye anyway. But that's what's in here, and it's now finished with the oolong tea, the lychee, and then, of course, the gimmicky part, which is going to be the G-Force. So we'll give it a taste here in just a second. Are drink sour mash mixed or straight? I don't know what you mean by that. Sour mash is like a type of whiskey there. But you can also make a sour, like a whiskey sour. I mean, the nose isn't bad. I don't get any ethanol, so that's probably because of the lower proof, but you guys know me. I'm not big on rye as it is. When I picked this up, I didn't even realize it was a rye. Again, like I said, I saw the G-Force logo on it, and I was like, I got to get that. So maybe I'm not the best person to ask about their thoughts on rye. It's not bad, right? There's no bad whiskey or anything like that, but it's heavy on rye because it's 100%. Tuxedo Cat says, I'll drink it if it's 95.66 proof, but I'll be darned if it's 95.67. Hey, everybody got their limits, you know? Both my stepdad and I noticed it. We're not fans of it. It's, honestly, I don't think I've had Whistle Pig, just, I've never had my own bottle where I've sat there and actually analyzed it. I've had like a drink at a bar once, but like, you know, when you're at a bar, everything tastes good. So Eric says that extra proof right there. That 0.7, the 0.11 on that, a little too heavy. I am going to make it in an old fashioned. I'm going to do like my standard old fashioned. I do have like a, I don't know where it's at. I have one of the Elijah Craig, like syrup mixes where they have like the bitters and all that combined, and it's meant for like a rye whiskey. So I may test that towards the end, but I'm going to give it the old, standardized old fashioned here from Call Me Old Fashioned. So that way we can make sure if it's good or bad from what I'm trying. Obviously, you can throw different things into it to make it better, right? But the way I look at a bottle is if it's good like that, it's going to be good elsewhere, because everything else I drink tastes perfectly fine like that. So I have to agree with the bar thing. Yeah, I mean, at a bar, everything tastes good. The wife's asking if I want ice to make an old fashioned, like if I wasn't prepared. I was prepared. It's Friday. I have the ice. It's well, there was a few Fridays here where we missed the ice, and I'll be the first one to say, yeah, that was all on her, not me. I don't know if I'm a fan of it, to be honest. All the reviews can't be good reviews, I guess, but I don't know if it's the tea or if it's the rye. The rye part, it's not like normally like when I try rye, like my tongue goes a little bit crazy and tingles. That's not what's going on. So like maybe it's a different type. I think the tea part's like, I don't know if I'm a fan of that. Eric says, what's the price on that Whistle Pig there? This is coming in where I bought it. I think it was like $52.99 or something weird like that. I've seen it online for like $58.99 is what like Total Wine has it at, but yeah, so right around $50. Fester says, I still have a big bottle favorite of Bullet Rye, just haven't cracked it yet, or haven't cracked it open in a while. Bullet Rye? I haven't had the Bullet Rye. I haven't had many ryes. I don't really spend my money on that kind of stuff, but like apparently I do. But yeah, I have the regular just Bullet bourbon, but everybody told me that the Bullet Rye is also good. But the rye that I like the most is this one right here, the Bardstown Rye. That's the one that I actually like drinking. But I'm just picky when it comes to ryes. What did he say? He said order a pizza too? Hey, I could have had pizza tonight. We could have had it going. The boss said I did a good job this week, so he said, hey, little pizza party. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and make an old-fashioned straight. It's not bad, right? If you're a fan of ryes and if you're a fan of, like, oolong tea, I'm sure that's going to be perfect up your alley. If you like green tea or something like that, something that's not on, like, sweet tea, unsweet tea, whatever, like this is definitely up your alley because it's not bad. It's just not, like, what I like. So maybe it's a bad buy for me, but I'm going to go ahead and say ahead of time it's not worth $50. But it can save the day. If it makes it me an old fashioned, it makes me an old fashioned. I'll take everything back. So little ice cube there. See, look at me. We're doing it all right. Now I need to not spill anything on the computer. The beard's looking good as hell tonight. Yeah, right. I was laying down. Beard got all messed up. He said, oolong tea. That might have been too much. Let's switch camera angle so you don't stare at my face the whole time. There we go. Oh, I gotta grab the bitters. Again, if you guys are first-time viewers, we put a little bit of simple syrup. For bitters, I use both of the Woodford's bitters, which is going to be a little bit of the spiced cherry bitters and then a little bit of the orange bitters as well. Don't ask me why. I just like both. And then basically all of our old-fashioned stuff is Woodford's because then we use the Woodford cherries and all that. So. Tuxedo's Cat says, is that what the kid says? On fleek? Is that right? That camera angle is on fleek. No cap. Can you imagine? So, Eric, I know you missed it. I did a live the other night, just like one of those cell phone, like on the shorts feed. And there's one kid that came in. If he's in here, sorry, I'm not trying to talk shit, but like, I kind of am. There was somebody, he was talking, he's like, hey, nice background. I was like, thanks, man, I appreciate it. And he's like, I can't drink. And I said, dang, like, you just don't like it or you just can't drink? And he's like, I'm 10. And I'm like, I don't think this is a stream for you. Made me highly uncomfortable. I was like, if my 10-year-old was watching me drink, I'd probably try to beat me up. Professor says, what MacBook are you running? I don't know, the expensive one. It's the M1 MacBook or M1 Max. I don't know. Honestly, I couldn't tell you anymore. They came out with like the Ultra chip, which I heard that one's pretty good, but I have the newest one, the second newest one. So like not the one that just came out, the one right before that. Same one Shelton has, if that makes it easier. All my fancy tools, though, are not on the computer. It is definitely on the camera side. So that's where all my money goes, it feels like. Let's see what everybody else is saying. Is that what the kids are saying on Fleek? I think my chat's like bouncing around like crazy. Eric says, I'm out of touch. What's on Fleek? My teenage Dodgers will hate me if I learn a new word. The new word for the day is no cap. It means you're not lying. Urban Dictionary. Give me a second to process that. That was different. Eric says, I got the notification, but I was on call. I totally get it. I was just filling you in, giving you an update on what happened. It was a weird stream, but it was all right. We had a little bit of a couple drinks. We had wild turkey rare breed. We figured out that was way better than the single barrel I had last time. The single barrel is trash comparatively. Not really. It's not trash, but like comparatively, it's not as good. He says, look at me, I'm a teacher. Professor says, I got the M3 Pro that just came out. It's unreal. It's so mine, I tried to get, so first off, when I got this MacBook, it was sold out. So I had to kind of get whatever was available. I have the 64 gig of RAM, and then I have 2 terabytes. I should have got more. I should have just maxed it out completely. But I do want the, I just want to get the newest, latest, and greatest because I always feel like I need it. But I don't. I do need it in a sense with some of the video editing. It does get bogged down lately, but that's because I'm constantly maxed out on storage. So that's why mine kind of runs a little janky. But he says that sign does wonders for the background. It does. It's a great sign, except for you can kind of see here where the little guy is. He's not lit up. They told me I had to get a bigger sign if I wanted that part lit up, and I already put the shelves in. There's not enough space for the next bigger size. It would bleed into both the shelves, so it kind of got a little screwy there, but it will do for now, and then we'll upgrade eventually when we change the shelves up. But yeah, it does. Kind of makes a nice little glow behind me. I like it. The light part's awesome. All right, so the Old Fashioned, just to give you guys an update, it's not bad in an Old Fashioned, right? It's doable. Now, is it the best? No. I've had way better. So like if you had a bottle already and you just don't like it straight, put it into an Old Fashioned. I think it will get the job done. Would I go out and buy it? Nah. It's not. I don't think it's worth it. Cool bottle, right? I love a good story, right? Just like with the Chris Stapleton stuff. Somebody sees it's finished in F1 or it's like an F1 bottle finished in G-Force. People want to know about it, right? Especially if they come over and see that on the shelf with everything else. It just stands out a little bit. So cool story piece. And if you're really big into lychee and oolong tea, stuff like that, like sure, it's probably a perfect bottle for you. But for $50, I think you can get a lot better stuff, especially if it's just going to be a mixer. Because I didn't care for it straight. So the Old Fashioned is the only way I'm going to end up drinking this. But it does have a pig on it. The pig's reading a book, it looks like. No, actually, the pig is leaning over some rye. Also, another complaint. I'm just complaining all about it now. This little QR code, it says on the back, it says scan QR code for VIP prizes. There's no prizes. all it did is take you to a website so you buy more. I was pissed. Because I was like, oh, what do we get? And we getting like a t-shirt? Like a t-shirt would have made it worth it. I'm just saying. So, WhistlePig, if you're watching and you've invested this far into the review, next time I need the QR code to lead me to a free t-shirt or half off a t-shirt. I would have bought it. Let's see. What he said? Eric says, I say those and they hate me for it, saying on cap and Riz and mid. Oh man, that's mid. I don't typically say that stuff. So Pester says you need to run an external SSD. Samsung makes it great. I know you're not telling me about this stuff. I have like 18 of them. I have a massive 16 terabyte hard drive, and I have a bunch of 2 to 4 terabyte hard drives. But think about every wedding I do, every time I film a video, I use over a terabyte of footage per wedding. So that's why I have so many. But most of my like wedding stuff is like done. I have to do it externally on it. But for when I like am building galleries and stuff like that, I have to put it on. So I'm constantly rotating what's on my desktop, and I just never can clear it. I could eventually. Professor says, hi top WhistlePig. I saved this bottle for I don't know how long for Shelton. I had an intro and everything for him because it was the pig, the G-Force. We were gonna break out the Spaceman, but I think he's allergic to drinking, so that, and he takes a vacation every week. I don't know what to tell you. It's very similar logo when it comes to the pig. This one's got a little bit more life to it, but whatevs. Call me old-fashioned as a digital genius. I mean, I'm not going to go that far. I do know a lot about, I wouldn't say a lot about computers. I know a lot about cameras and files, and I don't know, maybe I do know a lot about computers. I don't know. How much corn you saving? This is 100% rice, so there's no corn in it. If you mean coin, this was actually an expensive bottle, comparatively, right? This is $50, where I could have got 2 bottles of Buffalo Trace for that and been a lot happier. He says, geez, he doesn't seem like it. That he doesn't take vacations? I mean, he still does his channel, but he was just on vacation for like a week, I think. I can't keep track. But he was on vacation, that's why I said that. But yeah, see? Maybe you guys can scan the QR code. Oh, there's no way it focuses on that. But you can see it. I'm upset about the QR code. I didn't get it. I'm a little slow. That and the chat's behind, so I'm like, my chat's going crazy. It's like popping in and out. So like if I read it down here, next thing is up here, but there's not a new one. Apparently, I don't know much about computers. Oh, you talking about the drinking? I don't know. I don't know if he gets down like that. I know he likes an old-fashioned or two. Which the C2P? What? There's no. You don't have to keep secrets. I don't know what's going on with that chat. You're gonna tell them the flubber off? Hey, tell them I sent you. QR codes, duds. Whiskey, dud. I'm not a fan. I'm trying to like the old fashioned because, like, it's not bad, right? I'm trying to be like middle ground here, but it's not up my alley at all. So I feel like it's killed the momentum. I may need to switch it up. Let's switch it up, right? How much porn you saving? What? Oh, I see. I gotcha. No, I don't. God, no. I crashed my computer. I couldn't afford for this computer to get a virus to save my life anyway, so. Whoa, this is way different from this. It says 16 terabytes worth. Oh, I mean, think about it, bro. I have probably like 50 40 weddings a year, anywhere from 40 to 50 weddings a year. That's upwards of 50 terabytes of just video, not even the photo. High Top says, missing a spacesuit. Your ears must have been burning. We were just talking about you. We said the logo was similar to yours, except for this is a more likable logo. Or something like that. I got a call for the ice. Face would never. Face, Taste. It's a good channel. All right, so I'm going to switch it up. Sounds like bots. I'm going to switch it up. I'm not going to use this liquor anymore. We're done. So if you're here for the Whistle Pig review, I'm sorry. It is no good. Not a fan. It's not bad in an old fashioned, but it's not it's just not worth $50. So I'm not going to tell you to go buy it and waste your money on something like that. Unless you're like a crazy like lychee and oolong tea fan, that's the only people I'm going to recommend buying it to, and that's if you got money like that. So the ice came. So what I'm going to do instead, so that way I can actually have a drink I like, is we're going to test out this new Woodford's Old Fashioned Cocktail Syrup. We'll switch a little angle there for you so you can check that out. I don't know if it's going to focus. There we go. So yeah, I saw that on the shelves. I figured I wanted to pick it up. You guys have seen it. I've talked about it for a while, but I just haven't really broke into it. So I figured, what a better time than to do it right now when I don't want to drink that old fashioned anymore. It's just not sitting right. High Top says, favorite channel. I know this is your favorite channel. I appreciate it. Professor says he's on vacation again. Can't keep track. He's probably on vacation again after he just got back. So Tuxedo Cat says, thank God Eric's still around. I was certain I drove him away. With you trying to get him to say on fleek, I can imagine he was thinking about it. What is this? Professor says, what's the short stubby bottle? Talking about this one right here? This is Blanton's. You never had Blanton's before? Blanton's is like that bottle that everybody keeps like losing their mind over, and they're gonna pay quadruple the price. It's good. I don't suggest spending hundreds of dollars on it that's probably what you're gonna find it for. But it is a really good bourbon. It makes a nasty old fashioned, not like a good nasty. But yeah, that's probably the most hyped up one I currently have. Let's see. Mr. Lopez is in the chat. What up, Heavy D and all? Cheers, ladies and gents. Cheers. What you drinking on, Mr. Lopez? I haven't seen you in a minute. Eric says, nah, I'm in it for the long haul. Oh, there it is. Now we get it. All right. Now I'm hoping that this old fashioned is going to be good. If not, I'm going to be disappointed. A little peep show for you guys. And of course, Cody notices the shortest. Yeah. It's also on the edge. I'll give him that benefit. But it's a good bottle. Honestly, what I like whenever I've been drinking lately, like anytime like I'm just sitting there, it's always been the Lost Monarch. It's really good. I'm gonna get the just the regular Pipe Dream, not the cast strength, and just see what that's like. Because I feel like I would like that a little bit better. But I'm not drinking the other two as often because it's just super high proof, and I don't really want to just sit there and sip on that. I'll get hammered. No, on the same shelf on the other side. If you're talking about that, that's Wild Turkey Rare Breed. We just did that on the live, I think, sometime this week. I can't remember what day. It's good. It's way better than the single barrel. Because I did a Wild Turkey single barrel review like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I was like, yo, this is really good. But the Rare Breed, it destroys it. Like, it kills that single barrel. Tuxedo Cat says, Evan Williams bottled in Bond. Can you see that? Oh, my screen's covered up a little bit. Oh, yeah. Evan Williams Bottled in Bond is over there. I also have the Woodford's Double Oak. Woodford Reserve. Yeah, the Woodford Reserve bottle is a... You know what I just realized? I'm stupid. I was over here making like a normal old fashioned. That's on me. I gotta rinse this out. That's on me. That's on me right there. Forgot. I don't know what I thought the syrup was gonna be doing. All right, so how much does it want of this? What the fuck? What the fuck? Bro, this thing is different. There we go. On the bottle here, it gives me directions of how to like just make like a freezer door old fashioned where you just kind of put it into the actual bottle. That's different. All right, let's put the Whistle Pig to the side, and we're going to use the Woodford Double Oak. At least that way we get a decent old fashioned regardless of what happens here. Professor says, is that an all-in-one mix? Yep. It is. So like, if you were here around Christmas time, we did like, and Elijah Craig does like this gift box where they do the bottle of Elijah Craig and they do like an Elijah Craig like syrup, right? And it's supposed to be the bitters, the cherry, not the cherry, bitters, the simple syrup and stuff like that. That way you pair for an old fashioned. This is the same thing, just on like a steroid version because it's massive. But it's basically everything besides the actual cherry. So it's supposed to allow you to not have to worry about the simple syrup, the bitters, or any of that stuff. So I use the bitters and the cherry and all that anyway. So I'm figuring that this is going to be pretty tasty, is my guess. Mr. Lopez says, I do have an E.H. Taylor small batch and a Clyde's Made store pick and some samples I can crack, though. Hey. Crack them open. Or save the E.H. Taylor to when I can find one and you can crack it with me. Or just send me your bottle. I'll drink that, whatever. I'm not picky. Let's see. I feel like I put a lot of liquor in there comparatively. Cheers. Oh, that's really good. That might be better than just making a normal old fashioned. That's saying something. I am making one hell of a mess though. So let's bring that back on now. Let's get this out of here. All right, let me catch up on this real quick. Tuxedo Cat says, are you sure it's a real E.H. Taylor small batch? Better send it to me so I can verify. You verify it first. I'll second the verify, and then I'll send it back to him. Just killed my bottle of small batch E.H. Taylor. Oof. Don't kill it. Save it. Don't save it. You know what I mean. Professor said before, hi, Top, I love my squatty bottles. He's like, I know you do, Poppy. What? That conversation took a little turn there. This is really good. This, I believe, is like $23. but the size of it alone makes it worth it, right? Because you could buy a bottle of simple syrup. The bitters alone for the Woodfords are like $10 to $13 each. This is probably going to make, how many ounces are in it? It's probably going to make at least 16 old fashions. I'd say it's probably worth it because you're just kind of combining it, especially if like you're going on like a little road trip or something like that and you're limited on space and you don't want to have to just pick up all this different stuff. And if you're only going to drink old fashions anyway, this is definitely the move. And it's really good. So if you're just having like at the liquor store and you're trying to stock the bar and you see it, pick it up, drink it, and then let me know because it's really good. And I'm also a little biased though, right? Big fan of Woodfords. Double oak, can't go wrong with that anyway. So yeah, that's the old fashioned here. The only thing I added in different was I just added the cherry. I didn't even put the extra cherry juice like I normally do, just because I wanted to make sure it wasn't like crazy. So, but yeah. But what are you guys drinking on? I know you guys are saying you have a bunch of stuff, but what do you got in the glass right now? Because that's what's important, you know? Tuxedo Cat says, Total Wine near me was selling boxes of 12 quality wine glasses for $15 yesterday, and I had to buy 8 boxes so I wouldn't lose my money. I don't know what to do with them. Why would, what? Are you just, do you only drink wine? So when we moved in, me and my wife, when we first moved into like a house we were renting, right, had tons and tons of space. We made one room just like full blown like a bar. We were drinking wine like crazy back then. So like we bought every type of wine glass you can think of, and it was more of like for display. We got them from Total Wine, and like when we moved into this place, right before I built the wall and all that, we were just throwing them away because I was like, we're never gonna use that many. Like even if somehow we had a house party, we had enough for everybody to have their own glass. Nobody's gonna use that kind of stuff anyway at a party. If they had a sale like that though on like Glencairn's, I'd say send it because those are a little pricey for like a 4-pack too. But yeah, my chat is messed up. It's all over the place right now. If I miss your comment and you ask something good, maybe just send it again because my bad. I'm not trying to miss anybody's comments. It just bounces around like crazy. Tuxedo Cat says, I'm drinking Compass Box Scotch right now. Scotch? You're a Scotch kind of guy? I don't know if I'm a fan of Scotch like that. You know what I do have? I don't know if it's Scotch actually now that I'm thinking of it. No, I have like the little bottle of like the Black Label. It's from Scotland. That's where I got that. It's 12-year age Johnny Walker Black Label, little baby bottle. Just all in the stash, you know. You know what I do want to do now that I just saw this? I'm gonna go to I'm gonna smoke this bad boy. What did he say? Yeah, Professor says I'm saving my old-fashioned virginity. I'm gonna take it. I'll come down to Florida for the NFL draft. I don't remember when the draft is, but I know it's coming up. By then, I should have figured out like what the better old-fashioned is. We'll make sure you have like a good first old-fashioned. That way you can't have another old-fashioned without it being like just a subpar, you know? Just Tuxedo Cat, do you like the Johnny Walker? I can't remember why I bought him. I think I bought him for like my Vegas trip and then realized I couldn't take him into the airport. I forgot. I didn't move him around. He says, I thought you were good, and now you're saying you're drinking scotch. I'm done with you. He's like, I love them. I have the red and black, green 18-year blue, and the fun ones. He's like, oh no. Quickly pour them all down the drain. I haven't had them, so like, fuck it. You know what? We're going downhill quick, guys. I said we weren't going to drink a lot. Should I put this on the shelf? Oh, it should go right here, right? A little baby bottle. Every time everybody's going to ask me what that, I'm like, it's too expensive to have the full bottle. Bro, there's legs on this. It's thick. What the fuck is that? No way. It's only 40%? No. Nah. Nah. I'm good. It's called Hard Truth. Oof. Tuxedo Cat. I just like everything. LOL. I might have a teensy problem. It's only a problem if you admit it. So just keep that stuff buried deep down, you know? There's some people that will rake you over the coals for drinking, you know, everything and anything. Drink whatever you like. Obviously, I'm just making fun, right? If you like scotch, drink scotch. Bourbon's where it's at right now. Some people will yell at me for only drinking bourbon where I may not like rye. And they're like, you gotta like rye or else. And I'm like, it's just not like exactly what I look for on like a Friday night. You know what I mean? It's like, I want something good. Default for me is what we're drinking on right now. So this is a good time. Oof. Professor, if you're still here, last time they were in here, they were trying to eat alcohol pads, so maybe watch out on their recommendations. He says, well, if this makes me look bad, my lawyers are going to put out a statement in the coming days. Tell them to send a cease and desist. He said, damn it, Eric, of course, I'm never going to live that down. Yeah, you're not going to live that down. What a time. It's getting hot in this room, though, I'll tell you that. With all these lights on, it starts to cook you. So, but yeah, Old Fashioned here is pretty decent. The Whistle Pig, not a fan. So, it may just be me, though. So, if it's, do you think, out of you guys that's still watching, do you think I should buy a different Whistle Pig that may be better? And if so, tell me exactly which one. That way I don't accidentally buy another F1. I wonder how I create a poll on this thing, just out of curiosity. I have to test it out to figure it out. That didn't work. I just put cheers, though. Whistle Pig is a no-go. Well, Eric, where were you when I bought this then? I'm kidding. No, that bottle was one of those ones where, like, I was trying to reach the points at the store that I'm at, or the store that I was buying stuff at, and I was like, hey, I just need about like $50. And I saw that, and I was like, yo, F1? GeForce finished? I was thinking, like, I found a hidden gem. And again, it's not bad, right? Like, it's not horrible. But when I, like, obviously for, like, anybody watching and stuff like that, especially for the reviews, I'm going to be super, like, tough on the reviews because I don't want to recommend anything that's not good and somebody come back and be like, you piece of shit. If you guys want to see some craziness, go over to my TikTok. Go to the Crown Royal video that I did. It has 2.1 million views on it, and it's just people losing their mind on me. And it's mainly just people like going, it tastes like Robitussin, you asshole. And I'm like, I liked it. So I won't do that again. I mean, I will, but like, I'm going to say I won't. Eric says, I was here for you. You just didn't hear me. Probably. I probably just didn't have my headphones in. That's what it was. Professor says, anything you're looking forward to? I'm looking forward to a lot. But I'm horrible at remembering things. There is a few different bottles that are supposed to come out. And I'll probably make a whole separate video on like what's coming out in the future. But there's one bottle that I'm like talking with somebody with that I may be able to get, which is going to be the Woodford's Double Oak. I'm dying to get that one, but I don't know if I want to spend the money on it. Professor also says, nah, Whistle Pigs, eh. I mean, you told me it changed its recipe as soon as we walk into a review when, I mean, a text beforehand would have helped. But that, I mean, we can't do anything now. Tuxedo Cat says, I don't know if I'm old, but TikTok is too much for me. How old are you? TikTok is like the new Google, right? Not that I like want it to be. I prefer Google to be Google. But if you want to find something out super quick, TikTok, right? I'm not getting political on here, so I won't go any farther than what I'm about to say. But the State of the Union was on yesterday. We watched a little bit of that, and I wanted to know where everybody else was thinking about what they saw. Just go to TikTok. Everybody's just in there within seconds. So that's my thoughts on TikTok. Professor says, better money spent elsewhere. I agree, because I look at it like if I was going to recommend it, it would have to be better than like Redwood Empire or something like that, right? Because these, well, just the Lost Monarch bottle for that matter is like $35 to $39. Much rather have that and pocket the other 20. These are a little bit more expensive, but again, only an extra 20 comparatively, so probably spend the extra 20 and buy those. Tuxedo Cat says I'm 25. Dang, I was hoping you were going to be like 56 or something. You know what I mean? And just make me feel young, but you didn't do that, so you should be on TikTok. I don't want to hear it. Not you should. Don't get on TikTok. I don't care, but you're not too old for TikTok. Eric, if you're still in here, what happened in that live with that 10-year-old? Everybody kept telling me to hit the gritty. I'm not going to hit the gritty, but like I felt like they were like, dance, monkey dance. What else in here? Benchmark bottles. Would recommend Benchmark over that over the Whistle Pig as well. And those are super cheap. He says, if you're getting hate comments, all I have to say is fuck them. It takes a lot to hurt my feelings. But what's funny is like when I was watching that thing just explode, I was like, oh, look, 500, which was pretty good for TikTok, views-wise. And all of a sudden it went from like 500 to 5,000. I was like, oh, cool. Then went from 5,000 to 10,000. I said, here we go. And it was just 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, and just climbed. And once it got past 1 million, I stopped watching. But it hit like 2.1 is where it's at now. But I still, like, I can pop on here now, and I'll bet you there's new comments. Because it's just slowly. But everybody that watches it, they interact with it. Yeah, like, I checked it right before I got on. I have 19. Let's read the first comment on here. It says, be great if I could find it anywhere. Must have been called 12 liquor stores, I must have called 12 liquor stores today together to get this crown. Please send some to the house, please. I'm not sending anything to anybody's house. Somebody also said very mid for $40. It's not $40, it's $25. So those weren't that bad. But it is, It's hilarious because it's just Crown. There's a cult following for Crown Royal too. I like Crown Royal, but it's got to be the right time and place. And my video is very specific to saying it was a summer drink where that would be the perfect drink for it. Tuxedo Cat says, hit the gritty. I can't do it. I'm too old. Professor says, have you ever had the Jefferson's stuff? I've had one bottle of the Jefferson's Oceans. I don't remember which one because it wasn't mine. It was Shelton's. And I don't remember liking it. So he's like, I do like the ocean. I'll probably end up buying a bottle eventually just to like give it a proper review now. But I don't think I liked it for some reason. I think it was more of like I was a little bit buzzed when I watched it. Mr. Lopez says, I'm back. What did I miss? You missed. I just did the gritty. We went over TikTok hate comments. You missed a lot. I'm just saying. Tuxedo Cat says, maybe I could pretend to be older. Well, don't pretend. 25, you'll get there. Pretend you're younger. That would make it better. He says, I like Crown Royal, but my go-to Canadians are going to be Royal Canadian Found North Stout. I'm not a huge fan of Canadian whiskey in general. The Crown Royal XO is really good, but I haven't had it in a long time. That was back when all I drank was like Crown Royal. But when I look at like the Crown Royal like flavor lineup, I look at it as any flavored whiskey. Like you're not going to sit there and just sip it neat. None of those should be, I don't think. There are going to be mixers. And when you find out the mixer, right, like for example, the blackberry, it's going to pair best with a lemonade or lemonade and Sprite or just Sprite for that matter. And to me, that like screams summer. And I'm like, yeah, like a good beach day or a pool day, 4th of July, like that would be a good drink to have. Because you're not going to be just drinking bourbon neat in a Glencairn while watching fireworks. You're just not going to. I don't want to hear it. Mr. Lopez says, TikTok sucks, YouTube gang. That I don't care for TikTok like that. But I know like you got to kind of get in where you fit in, and I'll post some videos there. And some of them do really good, but most of them don't do that good over there. He said, enjoy your youth. I agree, enjoy your youth. He says, I don't have to pretend I already act like I'm 5 years old most of the time. Yeah, I bet now that now that you're off the alcohol pads. The salted caramel and the peach are good. Salted caramel to me, I'll break it out next, like October, I'll break it back out. But there's this like the salted caramel, and we mix it with like Kahlua or Bailey's or something like that, and we make like almost like a frappuccino type of thing. It's bomb, but that's like more cooler weather to me. The peach could also be like it could be one of two. It could be like beginning of fall or like a summer. It just depends on what you're mixing it with. But again, like I would never take any of those and just pour it neat and be like, my drink tonight. He says that number satisfies my OCD. I'm 44. See, you're not that old either, Eric. You're out here pretending like you're 60. You could be on TikTok. I could do the gritty on TikTok. I'll go like and share. Have you had Blade in Bow? Why is it jumping around like that? He's like, never use TikTok, just talking shit. If you haven't used it, just stay off of it because it's not that fun. It's good at sometimes, right? Like if you just sit there and scrolling or something. But like, I do the same thing on YouTube. Same thing on Instagram too sometimes. There it is. Have you had Blade in Bow? I like the look of the bottle. Honestly, I don't remember. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm going to look it up though. Oh, shit. Where is it? Images. Oh, wait. No, I have not had that, but I have seen it. That's another $60 bottle, but it is a Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, which is nice. But $60? I like how it has a little key on it, though. Eric says it's good too. Damn it! Now I'm gonna have to buy another $60 bottle. It's for me, what's crazy is like I like a lot more of these like bourbon and whiskeys that are like under $40 because price has a lot to do with what I like. But not that I'm like super cheap or anything like that, but like when you start spending a lot more money on a bottle, I expect a lot more. So I get a little bit more pickier with stuff like that. But like that, for example, the Evan Williams bottle and bond is like 15, 19 bucks, something like that. As long as it's drinkable, I'm gonna say that's good. Mr. Lopez says I'll sip the salted caramel or the peach with a lot of ice or mixed. Mixed for me. I couldn't sip the salted caramel. I could probably sip the peach, but again, I'm not a big peach guy either. The apple, it's a little syrupy. I couldn't mix with Sprite with any of those. I could do it. He says, Tuxedo Cat said, I'm gonna bring this over. He says, my local Total Wines are chock full of blade and bows. I will not be intimidated. Maybe pick up a bottle. You know what I mean? That way you can let us all know how it is too. Ever neat. All right. I think the jury is spoken. We'll pick up a bottle. Now that I've said I'll pick it up, we're never going to find it, but we'll get there eventually. Yeah, I know the next time I go, I want to get the Baker's 7 bottle. I've heard good things about that, so I want to try that one. There is, I mean, the next time I go, I'll be able to buy like one of the fancy bottles. So whatever they have, whether it's the E.H. Taylor small batch or the Stag, I'll end up picking up one of those. We just don't know which one yet. If they have neither, I'll just save my points. But I also want to get the Redwood Empire's Pipe Dream, just the regular, not the cast strength. I want to get that one as well. I think that would be a good daily sipper. Professor says, look up the Hard Truth Sour Mash and see if you would like me to bring that down. If that's your type of flavor. Everything's my type of flavor. Let's look it up though. Let's see. Sweet mash rye whiskey. Probably not. Ooh, mash bill. Come on, zoom in closer. Is that like an only up north type of thing? Or is it down here as well? Because they have the sweet mash bourbon, they have the sweet mash wheated bourbon, sweet mash 4-grain bourbon, and the high road rye. I'm sure any of those will probably be pretty good. If I had to probably choose, it would probably be one of two. It'd probably either be the sweet mash wheated bourbon because it's bottled in bond, or just the sweet mash bourbon in general. That one's 93 proof. The bottle in bond's going to be 100 proof. Just miss. So yeah, I mean, it looks like it'd be all right. It just depends. I mean, you bring me anything you want to bring me. I'm never going to turn down anything. Mr. Lopez says, fancy bottles, so like Fireball. Fireball is the fanciest. But these, they got a little bit embossing on them. So they're probably just up there with it, you know. Let's see what else. He says, Tuxedo Cat says, Mr. Lopez, you can trust me. I'm a pro. Verified, verified. Verified verifier. Did you see the Devil's Tower from Redwood? I get it. I've not seen it in store, but I know what it is. I'm definitely getting it if I can find it. But the issue with something like that is I don't think... So like the Redwood Empire is down here. Each store is like so hit or miss. Like the Lost Monarch is not allocated down here by any means. But at most stores, the Cast Strength and the Grizzly Beast, which is the Bottle and Bond, those are both considered allocated at everywhere besides ABC. So I imagine the Devil's Tower is probably going to be allocated just depending on which store and if ABC gets them. If ABC gets them, it's a lock. I'll be able to pick it up, no problem. But if they don't, then it'll be kind of hard to find down here. The only bad flavor I've had is the Willet Bourbon. Gross. I've not had the Willet Bourbon. I've had the Willet Rye. And I think that's still in here. I threw it out because I wasn't a fan. Oh, wait. Is that it? Nope. That is 99 espresso coffee, 99 proof. So, nope. Yeah, I haven't really had much of Willet. And everything that I see is like, most people are not fans unless it says purple top. If you say Willet purple top, then everybody kind of like loses their panties over it. Anything else, I don't hear good things. So Professor says, do you like Penelope Architect? So far, everybody in the chat that I know of loves the Architect. I have the Architect right here, which it's a decent bottle. You gotta like the oakier and / like vanilla profile. It's tons and tons of vanilla on it, which I like. I like it, but it's not something that I was like, you know what? I really want to pour a Penelope. I've never like really gone back to it too much. Anytime I do a review, and I've done like a full review on this one, you know, for the week that I have it, like the week that I do the review, I'll typically go back to it like a few times just to kind of like try it out in case like something's wrong with it. And this is build number 7, which is like a 4-year age. It's not bad, but like for me, I started like I do almost a new bottle every week or multiple new bottles every week. So for me, it's good, but I just don't have time to go back to it as much as I think I'd like to. So one of the other bottles that I have that I did earlier on is the Clydesmaid 5-year age single barrel straight bourbon whiskey. It's 102 proof. What's the fancy thing on here? I don't have it anymore. But this is also really good too. But it's a little bit more on like the spicier side. So if that's your profile, feel free to pick that up. Or just go back to my original review. Pester says, it's only here in Indy in 10 miles from the house. Hard truth is, that is. Oh. Well, if it's just super close, I'm going to pick up a bottle, bring it down. We'll crack it open. He says, Crown Maple, here we come. Did they discontinue it? The Crown Maple? Crown Maple would probably slap in the right scenario. By itself, probably not too much. But you'd have to like maple, obviously. Oh, Tuxedo's Cat says, hello, sexy. He's referring to the Penelope Architect. He is definitely a big fan of Penelope. That's all he typically drinks unless he's drinking scotch or alcohol pads. Mr. Lopez says, you should check out Carlos from Whiskey Corner. He's also in Florida and probably could help you out with finding bottles. But Tuxedo Cat says, looking gorgeous in your blue dress. I'll look him up, Whiskey Corner. So like for me, like where I have trouble finding bottles, you could say, is a little bit more of the allocated stuff. And a lot of the stuff here in Florida, at least, you're either going to pay, like I can go find it. Like the store literally like within 30 seconds of the house, not 30 seconds, like a minute and 30 seconds. has Stag Jr., E.H. Taylor, has all the Pappies, but they want like double or triple MSRP, which I just won't pay. I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it to me. Because I can find something like this that I'll just be just as happy with. Will everybody love the review? Probably get some views? Absolutely. But I'm not dying to be like, please give me 1 million views because I'm going to spend $3,000 on a bottle. The stores that I typically go to now are very like point system based, where if you reach the number of points, then you buy it for MSRP. And like I'll be able to buy the E.H. Taylor for like $50, which I'm here for it. I can buy that same bottle for $50 with the points, or I can go to the store right down the road and buy it for $2.50. You know what I mean? I'm all about saving money. But if you can find stuff for like MSRP or close to it, I'd be game. But if he wants me to pay like secondary or secondary plus, like it's just not worth it to me. Besides the Woodford's double oak, I'll pay extra for that one, but that's understandably, you know, for me at least. Eric says, I just want to say y'all are great. I'm fucked up at the moment. Hey, it's Friday. You're allowed to be. We don't have too much longer on the stream anyway. We've been live for about an hour. I didn't even think the stream was going to last an hour after the bottle was a dud. Because typically I'll sit there and compare it, and we'll drink a little bit and compare it again. But that bottle to me is just, it's just not the move, you know? He says, I enjoy being with y'all. We enjoy you being here. Turns on saying alive, gives Eric CPR. What? What are we talking about? The chat has a mind of its own at this point. Oh, turns on staying alive, gives Eric CPR. Says the Magic 8 Ball says, go to Hialeah for good selections. Like down there in Miami. So the downside of that, right, is the kid's going to be here any day. I'd love to go to Miami, especially with the Marlins opening season coming up. I'd love to go to that too. But at this point, the farthest I can go is maybe an hour away from here, and that's only for a wedding, you know. So, Tuxedo says, oh wait, the professor says, Tuxedo Kid, that's not the first time you said that too. And bottle of Penelope. Yep, I got you. Mr. Lopez says, I love hanging out with you guys when I can. I mean, we appreciate you being here when you can. You don't have to be here every stream. It just matters when you're here. Definitely not the first time I'll ever say that. I'll say it every time. You know what? Just for you guys, I'll have a pour Penelope. A small one. Because I really didn't want to try this again. And I was going to. It's been a while. But this is the last pour. Said every person ever. But I will say that Woodford Reserve's old-fashioned cocktail syrup, that's a must-buy. Pick that up. Don't pick up the Whistle Pig. The whole review's gone to shit. But we're here. Let's see. Professor says, dual wild turkey old-fashioned. So I have a wedding early tomorrow. Last Friday, I did a live, and I did like a pre-live on like the shorts view. Did the normal live, then I did another live after the fact, which was also in the short view. Bro, I got hammered. I wasn't hammered, but like, I don't usually get hungover. The next day, I was so worried about being hungover, like I was stressing. So like, I don't want to do that again. But the wild turkey old fashioned would be good. And I'll probably end up doing that next live stream, and we'll do the rare breed in an old fashioned because we did the single barrel, the Kentucky Spirit single barrel for the wild turkey. That was really good in old fashioned. I was like, yo, I went over, watched the fights with Shelton. I was like, hey, like this is, you guys have to have this one. They didn't care for it, but the rare breed has a lot more flavor, higher proof, but it doesn't drink like a higher proof. So definitely worth it. He said with the quick mix, everything's going to be good with that quick mix. I'll tell you that. Tuxedo Cat says, I love the Marlins. Watch them all the time. The Rays can go fluck themselves. Mr. Lopez says, Marlins, psh, Dodgers all day. Not all of us can buy our teams, buddy. Like, that's just, let's not do that. I do like Ohtani, though. Like, he's nasty. Y'all are lucky y'all picked him up. Marlins didn't want him, so we let him go to you guys. Tuxedo Cat says, no, absolutely no. As a Rockies fan in Colorado, the Dodgers make me want to blow my brains. You're a Rockies fan? Brutal. It's so funny, like, to see, like, where baseball, like, everybody kind of has, like, similar football teams or similar basketball teams. When it comes to baseball, people are all over the place. Crazy. Mitch Lopez is in LA, so rightfully so. Well, okay. You could be a Marlins fan, though, if you wanted to be. I'm just saying. We'd allow you in. We need a few more fans. Our fan base in Miami sucks, so it doesn't matter which team we're talking about. Said, yes, just need Dave Roberts in the room for alone 5 minutes. I'm in Kentucky. We ain't got shit but UK basketball. Every year for March Madness, I always pick Kentucky to win my bracket. They always let me down. Vanilla. Poof. Yeah, this is heavy vanilla. Professor says, still love that Four Roses. I do like Four Roses. So for me, I had Four Roses at my wedding. I still have a bottle from my wedding up there. It's a little basic now, right? It's not like, it doesn't have a lot of complexity to it. It's a really good sweet bourbon, but that's all it really is. There's no like extra notes to it. There's nothing fancy about it. It's just good bourbon. Now, when you break into like the small batch or any of the specialty bottles for Four Roses, now we get talking again, where those are really good, and I would drink those all the time. But like, they were kind of right in that sweet spot where it's like I could buy them, but they've been talked about so much that I kind of just leave them alone. Because most of the time when I'm buying bottles now, I'm buying them for reviews, and I don't want to buy something that's been reviewed a bazillion times unless like I just haven't had it at all. So. Like, I've had Four Roses, so to get small batch, I'm like, yeah, this is better. But everybody knows that. Tuxedo says, shake the bottle, Penelope, before drinking for the best results. Bro, I just poured it. Why? There's nothing in here. I don't know about that. That was a little weird. I wouldn't shake my bottles. The Angels are posers. Can't believe they let them claim LA. I agree. But they do have Angels in the outfield, so maybe get a movie, and then we can talk about the Dodgers being Kings of LA. It could happen. All right, fellers. I think it's about that time, though. It's about 10 o'clock my time. Dang, so most of you guys are on the West Coast, which means it's about What's it, 7 o'clock there? Yeah, it's about 7 o'clock there. Dang. He said, yo, dudes, about time you showed up again. It's been a minute. We were about to end the live, too. We got a few more minutes in us, so. If anybody's new hopping in the chat, we tried the Whistle Pig Piggyback G-Force finished 100% rye whiskey earlier. It's not the greatest in the world, but if you want a full review, just kind of scroll back. You can watch the beginning, or when this live ends, you can rewatch the whole thing, relive it with us. You can just pretend we're talking at the same time. We kind of have a movie, 24, Jackie Robinson movie. Touche. I'll give you that. I actually haven't seen the Jackie Robinson movie, even though I've watched like a bazillion clips. Like in the shorts when it pops up, I just watch them. So I'm sure it's a good movie. I just haven't seen it. Eric says, peace and love to all and keep pouring. Eric's had a few. He's finally off work. He's drinking Antique 107, and he's now feeling it. Tuxedo says, tell me you do not like scotch. Tuxedo Cat likes scotch, and everybody's giving him shit for it. And now everybody's going to roast him, too. Delwine is great. I don't care for scotch like that. I don't know. Maybe it's the malt in it that I don't really care for. I have a very select profile that I typically like. Usually it's like sweeter bourbons, a little bit on the higher side of proof, like 100 to 105. I like cherry notes. So I'm very basic when it comes to my drinks, so y'all are better than me. But yeah. You guys also missed, we were going to do TikTok gritties and all that stuff. We learned our Urban Dictionary word for the week. I think it was fleek or cap. He says light floral. Not on Penelope. The Penelope's all vanilla. Light floral? Sometimes. Just depends on the right bottle, but I don't typically go, ooh, I really want floral. Oh no, we're not promoting scotch in the chat. Don't do that. He said, drink what you want, just not scotch. He's like, just drink what you want, except for like what we don't want you to drink, because that would be bad. He says, I'm going to go make an Elijah Craig old fashioned. Hey, let's see if I have it here. Obviously I have Elijah Craig, but Elijah Craig has, I'm going to switch camera angles for this. And if you don't have it, you definitely want to pick it up. They have this Elijah Craig black walnut syrup. This is super good for an old fashioned, especially like if you've had like a few old fashions and you're tired of the same thing. This black walnut syrup changes it up. It's a good change of pace. It's also really good. So it pairs really well with Elijah Craig. So highly recommend that. Says we're like Napoleons. Oh. Y'all are cracking me up. They have a distiller. Oh my God, the chat is rogue at this point. All right, let me put this bottle back. said, good tip. Thank you. I actually really like that syrup. It's not better than this that we just broke open. We just tried the Woodford Reserves old-fashioned cocktail syrup. This is exactly what I want in an old-fashioned, but I'm also a huge fan of Woodford's. I also use all the Woodford stuff already, so like I knew I was gonna like it. I just didn't know how much. But that Elijah Craig's a really good change of pace. That's the second one I bought. I had one that came in like the Christmas packages, right? And like that was like really good when around the Christmas time. But I ran out and I was like, I gotta pick up a new one. So he says, at least I'm not going down alone. You're on this ship with me. For the Scotch, y'all are going down. I get it. He said, sorry I missed the earlier stuff. Hey, don't apologize. You can always go back and rewatch it if you really want to. But all that matters is you show up when you show up. Eventually we'll do longer streams, but right now we're doing them on Fridays, and I have weddings on Saturday, so I got to be up. I got to be at a wedding in like Daytona in 12 hours, so I can't go too crazy. I got to kind of keep a level head because I got to be up early, and I still got to tear down this whole setup for all the live stuff to pack up the cameras and all that jazz. Tuxedo says, I also like Irish whiskey, Seki, Jameson Black, Redbreast, and the like. For Irish whiskey, the only thing that I usually drink is going to be Proper 12, but I don't even drink Irish whiskey like that. And the only reason I drink Proper 12 is because Conor McGregor. Big fan of Conor, but it's I don't really care for Irish whiskey, so it just doesn't fancy my palate. He says those are the things I'm reluctant to spend a bunch of money on without having a clue. Irish whiskey, I would say, to be honest, probably don't waste your money. And if you want to get into Irish whiskey, buy one of the cheaper ones. Make sure like the Irish whiskey profile is something you actually like, and then slowly work into the more expensive ones. And that's the same thing I would recommend with anything. Like if you only drink Scotch and you wanted bourbon, buy the cheaper stuff, slowly work up. Same thing for like rye whiskeys. Just so that way you don't like go spend $100 on something and be like, oh, I don't like it, because then you just wasted $100. Eric says he's out. I will see you on the other side, buddy. Until next time. No bitters, no syrup. You gotta have bitters and syrup for an old fashioned. All right, fellers, it's about that time. I'm gonna go ahead and shut her down for the night. We got a few things in the work for next week though, so kind of stay tuned for that. And then of course, next Friday I will not be live. Next Friday I do have a wedding, but we'll switch it up. We'll do Saturday next week. Or Thursday, one of the two. I'll put a poll out. You guys can vote on that kind of stuff. Beautiful set. I appreciate it. I put a lot of work into this, so I'm glad you like it. But yeah, I'll put a poll out. You guys can vote on either Thursday or Saturday for the live, and we'll kind of break it down. But yeah, as always, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you on the other side. Peace. Cue outro.